Good morning everyone. So the saga with the solar system and the roof continue. Dear. So yesterday we had the roof repairers come back again. This is like the 10th time they've come back. When we bought the house we knew that the roof had evidence of leaking, and there was some leaking next to the... Oh, I'll go and show you. Okay, so I'm just outside the bathroom window under the carport, and this spot here we knew was leaking. It would drip down onto here every time it rained. So we knew about that. And we knew that every single wall in the house had evidence of leaking. I don't think there's a single wall inside the house that didn't have evidence of past leaks. So this is the most obvious spot in the house where you can see where the leaks have been. But just about every wall in the house has got evidence of leaks of some sort. This is just the worst. Dear. And there's some more that's really obvious. A lot of the other spots in the house aren't as obvious. If you look out there, you'll see the aquaponics. This spot here, we only realised that things were getting wet because I had the printer sitting up against this wall and the paper kept getting wet. So when you look closely at it, you can see there's actually, you can tell that it looks like there's water damage has happened. And more, I mean, you can't see that it's running down the wall, but you can tell that it's definitely affected by water. Interestingly enough, here you can't actually see the marks up on the wall, but you can see it on the door, which is really interesting. But the worst part is my insurance won't cover any of the damage because they look at it and go, it's poor workmanship. So it's a bit... We got the roof repaired, supposedly. Sorry about that. So the roof repairers came out. They cleaned out the roof. Let's see if I can give you a better view of that. So we have a fairly flat roof, and the roof repairers came out and they gurneyed off the whole house with a high pressure gurney hose and then came through and sprayed it. Now it was supposed to be being sprayed with a paint that had a insulation factor in it, so it would decrease the heat in the house. Now the first paint they put on did not do that. It was just normal paint and it really had zero impact on the heat inside the house. But it made the house look prettier, which is nice, but not really all that helpful and not what I was looking for. And the worst part was when they gurneyed the house, they actually took away all the silicone that the previous owners had put around the place to stop the leaks. So I had worse leaks inside the house, but I couldn't actually see them because I couldn't look up at the ceiling because of the whiplash. And because of all the past leaks on the walls, you couldn't see the evidence of it either. And it took us a while to actually realise that it was actually leaking, partially because we just didn't get a lot of rain. So I did know that under the carport area, where we were just before, did know that there was the leak over there at the window that I showed you before. And there was a drip here. There weren't any other leaks. That was just the water pump for the house. But after he repaired it, there were more leaks along here. Lots more leaks. Oh my goodness. So the guy came out again and put some more silicone up, put a bead of silicone all the way along there. And well, that didn't work either. That just made it so that the drip was now right here above the door. And the saga continues. So again, we had to wait ages for the next lot of rain again, because we hardly had any rain during summer at all, as you will have known following the channel. basically the rain didn't start until the end of no, it was the beginning of April. No, sorry, getting my months mixed up. I started the Sunday Night Live prayers on the 28th of February. Pretty much the rain started that following week. God is good. God is so good. He prompted me to pray for rain. I prayed for rain. The rain started to come. But still, we haven't had huge amounts of rain. So it's been difficult to see where leaks are, and that has slowed down the whole process. Now, come back to today. I mean, every time the roofers have come out to try and look at stuff, it's either been we haven't had rain for a long time, or we've had rain, or I've been unwell, I haven't had time to actually organise anything. But anyway, so they came out yesterday and put a strip of flashing all the way along there. That stuff's actually quite expensive. And repainted the house roof with the special paint. Now let's go have a look at that. This is the paint they've put up there. I still don't think it's the actual paint that I asked for, because I was supposed to get the paint, the Thermoshield paint, which has an actual R rating. I'm not sure if this has an R rating, but as it's not as hot as it has been during summer, I can't actually test it as well as I can. So next summer we'll see how good it is. I'm not sure if it's from the people that I asked them to get it from, or if it's going to work. But we'll find out in summer whether it actually does decrease the temperature, because I've been keeping records. But in any case, so that paint has now been put up on the roof, which is good. And they had to disconnect all the water tanks, because you can't clean the roof and put up new water tanks, paint the roof and have that drinking water go straight into the tanks. So we've had to have all the tanks disconnected. And of course it decided to rain like cats and dogs today. Let's go check the rain gauge. Okay, so it's just starting to spit again, so I don't want to be out here for too long. But we got some rain. Woohoo! Rain! Yay! How much did we get? See, can we zoom in on that? Can we focus? It's like 16 mil. So we've had 16 mil of rain overnight and this morning. And of course, that has created some problems, because back to the solar system, which still is not actually connected to the grid yet. So we are still not actually receiving any electricity from that 6.5 kilowatt solar system that is sitting on top of that roof that I have already paid for. So that system that's sitting up there, has not been connected to the grid yet. And the guy that was supposed to do that this morning came, but the meter is over there. And it was pouring. It was absolutely raining cats and dogs. And you cannot play with electrical meters and disconnecting the main source of power for the house and having wires exposed and all that sort of stuff, when all you've got to shelter yourself is an umbrella. So that solar system up there is completely and utterly useless still. Sorry, I'm a little bit frustrated. So, oh, and on top of that, we had Matthew's teacher for the homeschooling come today for a home visit, because he's just got a new teacher. But the special ed teacher came as well, so really happy with that. But in some ways, I'm grateful that the meter guy couldn't actually do it, because if he had, then we would have had no power when the teachers were here, and that was just a problem. But oh, on top of that, the guys that did the roof yesterday came over today as well. It's been Grand Central Station here today, and they've discovered that up here on the roof, this end, the corrugate from here actually overlaps into the house right the way up to there. At the other end, this end, it only goes up there. So what's happening is up this end of the house. So from here all the way up to there, the iron only goes back to there. So instead of being all the way back here like it is on the other side, it's only there. So the water's coming in there, sitting there, and because this has got such a narrow, small gradient, there really is very little gradient, that's nearly flat. The water is pooling here and going back, which is very bad because it's then running back in here, it's going into the house, it's going and causing a lot of damage. I mean, you can see this has gotten so much worse. And when I came out here this morning, I have a video. I'll show you what it looks like. It's just raining, there's water pouring out of here. I mean, you can actually, if you look closely, you can see there's still some drips coming down. But it was dripping the entire way along. The entire way along. So the saga continues. And of course, they can't fix that properly while it's wet. It's been a challenging day. All the lovely rain we've got, which instead of going into the water tank, has gone and made this all soggy. I mean, big puddles that are not there normally. And then before I put that there, it was all just running under here. Hence the reason why all here's wet. And just don't look at all that mess. It's just a disaster. We're just disaster central at the moment. It's just anyway. But that's the update for today. I gotta go check on the kids. They're up to mischief. Really grateful we've had the rain. It means that we should be able to hook the rainwater tanks back up again, although they're pretty much full anyway, so it's not really a huge drama. And actually, come to think of it, the one on the shed will still be working, so that gutter won't have been disconnected, so we would have still gotten rain from that. But really, honestly, our water tanks are pretty much full anyway, and we're needing the rain for the paddocks. Yeah, anyway, so we got the rain, that's great. Solar panels are still not connected to the grid, so we are still having to wait patiently. And check out my comfrey. That's the comfrey I transplanted the other day. It's doing very well. I'm really happy with that. I'll have to go check on the pots to see if they've actually started shooting at all. But yes, so the solar system saga continues. The roof saga continues. I'm not sure how much I've told you about the roof saga actually. But yeah. Oh, it's just painful. These basic things you take that shouldn't necessarily be this complicated are very complicated. Anyway. The roof is still leaking. The solar system is still not connected to the grid. So we're still not generating power. And we got rain. So anyway, have a great day. Bless you.